Hi, this is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Welcome to the South Carolina College Baseball Recap for Friday, May the 1st. Happy May Day, comrades. Just kidding. Anyway, there were 19 games involving state teams on Friday. Let's take a look at what happened. Over in Spartanburg, Alec Bouchard pitched a two-hit complete game and struck out 14 as Wofford beat Western Carolina 6-1 in a meeting of two of the three co-leaders in the Southern Conference. The Terriers improved to 31-15 as they snapped a four-game losing streak. They're 9-4 in the SoCon. Western Carolina fell to 29-17. Logan Triple drove in 3 runs and Lucas Manning homered for the Terriers, while for Western, Noah Quarles doubled in homered to collect both of the hits. Also, down in Statesboro, Bryce Estep's RBI single kept a 5-run 8th inning comeback, and number 9 Coastal Carolina beat Georgia Southern by a score of 8-7 at Clements Stadium. The Chanticleers have won 20 straight series opening games on a Friday, doing pretty good. They got 3 doubles from Walker Mitchell. He scored twice and drove in 3 runs. Coastal is now 32-13 overall, 18-4 in the Sun Belt. Georgia Southern is 13-33 and 5-17, and they have lost 12 of their last 13. They loaded the bases in the 9th on 3 walks before Darren Horn got the last out of the game. Over at Doug Kingsmore Stadium, number 20 Boston College assured Clemson of having a losing record in the ACC in the regular season with an 8-4 win. The Eagles are now 35-14 overall, 17-8 in the ACC. Of course, they're coached by former Wofford coach Todd Interdonato. Clemson fell to 26-20 and 6-16. They lost 4 straight games, all in the conference, and the best they can do in the regular season is 14-16. That's really on the very extreme fringe of being good enough to get an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. The way they're playing right now, I think Clemson's going to have to win it all in the tournament to get a bid to the tournament. For the Tigers, Jacob Jarrell had a 2-run homer and a walk. And again, Clemson falls to BC. They're playing at 1 o'clock tomorrow. If you're going over there, you better make some plans about parking. Apparently, most of the parking spots, or a lot of them for the baseball fans, are being taken up for a George Strait concert. Just a word of warning. Elsewhere, Will Holmes struck out 8 in 7 innings, and the Citadel won a series opener at Presbyterian by a score of 7-2. Holmes improved to 4-4 in the season. The Citadel is now 23-22 as they move to a game over 500. PC fell to 10-36 for the Bulldogs. Ryan Patel had a triple, a walk, 3 runs scored, 3 stolen bases, and an RBI. Not too bad for your team captaining. Leads by example. Elsewhere involving NCAA Division I teams, Carter Harrington allowed 2 runs on 7 innings, and College of Charleston snapped a 3-game losing streak with a 6-2 win over UNCW in Coastal Athletic Association play. The Cougars are 21-23 overall, 11-11 in the CAA. They move within 2 games of UNCW, which is 25-19 and 13-9 in the conference. Nick Diaz singled, doubled, walked, was hit by pitch, scored a run, and drove in 2 for the college. And also Ethan Plyler was 3 for 4 with a walk and 2 runs scored. Corey Waters had 3 hits, and Winthrop took the opener of a series at UNC Asheville in Big South play by a score of 5-1. The Eagles are now 29-17 overall, 12-4 in the Big South. UNCA fell to 17-29 and 5-11. For Winthrop, Braden Gilly went the first 6 innings. He allowed 4 hits, a run, and he struck out 2. Also, Wiley Waters had 4 hits and joined Johnny Sweeney in driving in 4 runs as USC Upstate snapped a 9-game losing streak by hammering Gardner-Webb 16-6 in Big South Conference play. The Spartans are now 20-26 overall, 9-10 in the conference. Gardner-Webb fell to 21-25 and 8-11. For Upstate, Preston Lucas was 3 for 4 with a homer, a walk, 3 runs scored, and an RBI. South Carolina and LSU were supposed to play a game on Friday. It got rained out. They're going to play a doubleheader split doubleheader in Baton Rouge on Saturday. Game 1 at 2 o'clock Eastern. Game 2 at 7:30 Eastern. Let's move on to tournament time. In the Region 10 tournament down in Lexington, Florence Darlington Tech opened its tournament play by beating USC Sumter by a score of 6-1 in the final game of the day. They rearranged the schedule to try to get in 4 games on Friday, and fortunately they were, because they're expecting possible wet weather on Saturday. With that win, FD Tech improved to 47-10. Sumter fell to 35-19, and that snapped an 8-game winning streak for the Fire Ants. Earlier in the day, Sumter had defeated USC Salkehatchie 11-0. By the way, for FD Tech and its win over Sumter, Jackson Mullen allowed 2 hits and a run over 7 innings. So good pitching for FD Tech there. What else? Dalton Taylor pitched a 6-hit shutout for that win for USC Sumter over Salkehatchie. Jackson Jean and Easton Thorpe homered for the Fire Ants. USC Lancaster knocked off USC Union. It was the only lower seed beating a higher seed in the first round. That score was 9-3. They had a big rally in the 8th inning, tacked on a run in the 9th, and that sent the Lancers into a game against top-seeded Gaston College. Later in the day, Gaston College beat the Lancers by a score of 15-3. It was a run rule game in 5 innings. With those, the win and the loss, USC Lancaster is now at 23-27. USC Union's at 30-23, and Gaston College is at 52-3. In Conference Carolinas tournament, the top 2 seeds lost. Young Harris scored 6 runs in the 3rd inning and sent top seed North Greenville into the losers bracket with an 11-3 win at Caramont Health Park in Gastonia. The Trailblazers fell to 43-9. They got, got my highlights here. Sorry. C.J. Dean had a single, a homer, and drove in 3 runs for the Trailblazers. Friday night, Belmont Abbey scored in its final 5 innings and overtook number 2 seed Francis Marion by a score of 10-9, sending the Patriots into the losers bracket. Miles Profit had a 2-run homer in the 9th to pull the Patriots within 1. They got the potential tying run on base, but he was stranded. Belmont Abbey's 38-12. Francis Marion is 41-11. And Francis Marion will play UNC Pembroke in a Saturday elimination game at 11 o'clock. North Greenville's Saturday elimination game is also at 11 at Mount Olive, 2 different locations. We'll talk about that more later. Earlier Friday, Mount Olive scored 6 runs in the 1st inning and eliminated Erskine by a score of 20 of. Sorry, I'm rolling like this. I've just got not as organized in my games. The final score was 8-4 for the Trojans as they beat Erskine. Erskine closed out its season with 27-26 record. Mount Olive's 29-20. Carson Yates had 3 hits and scored twice for the Flying Fleet. He had a really good tournament for Erskine up at Gastonia. In the Peach Belt Conference tournament, Mason Salisbury drew a bases-loaded walk in the bottom of the 9th to give Lander its only lead as the Bearcats beat Georgia College by a score of 7-6 in the first-round game. That extended Lander's winning streak to 10 games. They're now 32-18. Columbus State, earlier in the day at Lander, wrapped out 16 hits and scored the game's first 10 runs and beat USC Aiken by a score of 12-7. A couple of player highlights for that. For Lander, Zach Cowart was 2 for 2 with 3 walks, 3 stolen bases, 3 RBIs. And for Aiken in that loss, Blake Martin had a double, a homer, and drove in 4 runs. Lander Columbus State will meet in the winner's bracket. Again, I'll give you the schedule for Saturday in a moment. In the South Atlantic Conference, Wingate survived 4 home runs by Newberry and got a walk-off sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 11th inning to beat the Wolves by a score of 7-6. Sorry, I don't know. I just don't have it tonight for some reason. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, Wingate's now 35-16. Newberry's 27-24. Finn McLaughlin had 2 homers, and Nick Foster and Zach McClendon had 1 apiece for the Wolves. Newberry will play Carson Newman in an elimination game on Saturday. Over in Salisbury, a 7-run 4th inning put Catawba in charge, and the Indians beat Coker by a score of 11-3. The Cobras will play an elimination game against Mars Hill on Saturday. Elsewhere, Kent Johnson had 2 hits and drove in 4 runs as Benedict eliminated Albany State by a score of 8-6 in the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. The win improved the Tigers' record to 22-15. Albany State fell to 28-18 as they were eliminated. Right fielder Curtis Lindsey had a couple of very nice plays on defense to help deny Albany State hitters. The schedule for that tournament is messed up. They got it. The last game on Friday was rained out. Don't know what they're going to do. They've got 4 games already on the schedule for Saturday. Don't know if they'll push something over to Sunday. And I sent an email or a text, and they never responded. If I find out anything, I'll give you an up-to-date schedule as I can. But I'm sure Benedict had some good feelings about that. If you'll recall, earlier in the season, Albany State declined to play 3 games at Benedict because they claimed there were field issues. I don't know if there are any field issues down in Macon or not. But anyway, top-seeded Milligan shut out Spartanburg Methodist after the first inning and eliminated the Pioneers from the Appalachian Athletic Conference tournament by a score of 6-2. And elsewhere in the ACC, Miami took Game 1 of a doubleheader at NC State by a score of 11-0. That was not the right score. 12-9, excuse me. They're playing Game 2 as I record this. Wake Forest edged Louisville for the second straight day, 6-5. Notre Dame beat Stanford 6-2. Number 3, Georgia Tech lost a non-conference game to Xavier 8-4. Pitt and number 14, Florida State, were rained out, and they will play 2 on Saturday. In ACC standings, what we got here: Georgia Tech's 19-5, North Carolina 17-7. Boston College is 17-8. Miami is 13-9, pending that second game tonight. They are losing 13-6 in the 9th inning. And let's see, Florida State's at 12-9. Virginia's at 12-12. That Florida State-NC State game just ended. So a Miami-NC State game just ended. Miami fell to 13-10. Virginia's 12-12. Wake Forest 13-13. Pitt is 10-11. Virginia Tech has an 11-13 record, but they're playing at Cal in a late game. NC State moved to 11-12 with that win tonight. Stanford's at 10-12. Louisville's at 10-13. Duke's at 9-15. Notre Dame's at 9-16. Cal, with a game to play, is at 7-14, and Clemson is at 6-16. In the SEC, number 5 Georgia shut out Missouri 4-0. Number 15 Oklahoma beat number 25 Florida 5-3. Number 24 Alabama clinched a series win over Vandy 5-0. Number 4 Texas edged number 10 Mississippi State 3-1 as Longhorns pitchers struck out 19. Number 22 Arkansas topped number 17 Ole Miss 12-2. Kentucky trounced Tennessee 9-2. Number 8 Auburn and number 7 Texas A&M were rained out and will play a doubleheader on Saturday. How about the SEC standings? Georgia's at 16-6. Texas A&M at 14-6, Texas at 14-7, Mississippi State's 13-9, Auburn is 12-9, Arkansas, Oklahoma are at 12-10, Alabama's 12-11, Ole Miss and Florida are at 11-11, Kentucky and Tennessee are at 10-12, Vandy's at 10-13, South Carolina's at 7-14, Ole Miss is at 6-15, and Missouri is at 4-18. How about the schedule for Saturday? All right, in the regular season, Presbyterian's at the Citadel for a noon game in Clinton. Boston College is at Clemson at 1. Again, if you're going, be aware of the concert traffic. South Carolina and LSU play the first game of their day-night doubleheader at 2. The second game is at 7:30. That's Eastern Time. Western Carolina's at Wofford at 2. College of Charleston's at UNCW at 4 o'clock. Gardner-Webb is at USC Upstate at 4. Winthrop is at UNC Asheville at 5. And Coastal Carolina and Georgia Southern moved their game from daytime to 6 o'clock to try to get through some rain. Elsewhere, in the Conference Carolinas tournament up in Gastonia, Mount Olive and North Green will play at 11 o'clock in an elimination game at Claremont Health Park. Meanwhile, Francis Marion and UNC Pembroke play at 11 o'clock at Sims Legion Park, also an elimination game. Those two winners will play at 7 o'clock at Claremont Health Park. In between, Young Harris and Belmont Abbey, the only two unbeaten still, will play at 3 o'clock. In the Junior College Region 10, and of course they still hopefully get these games in, depending on the rain, at 4:30, USC Salcahatchee plays USC Lancaster in an elimination game. And at 7:30, USC Union and USC Sumter play in an elimination game. Florence Darlington Tech and Gaston College are scheduled to meet probably at 10 o'clock on Sunday if things stay on schedule to send the one team into the championship round. In the Peach Belt Conference tournament down at Greenwood, Columbus State plays Lander at noon. USC Aiken plays Georgia College at 3, and the loser of the noon game plays the winner of the 3 game and an elimination game at 6 o'clock. In the South Atlantic Conference Tournament, over in Salisbury, Coker plays Mars Hill at 2 o'clock. If the Cobras win, they'll play the loser of the Catawba Lincoln Memorial game at 6 o'clock. If the Cobras lose, they're out. In the Wingate Regional, or pod, if you will, Newberry plays Carson Newman in a 3 o'clock game, elimination game. If the Wolves win, they will play the loser of the Wingate-Lenore-Ryan game at 7 o'clock up in Wingate. In the SIAC tournament, again, I'll try to do something up to date. Benedict is supposed to play the loser of the Spring Hill Savannah State game, which is the one that got rained out on Friday night. They adjusted the schedule on Friday because one of the late Thursday game went long, so they may do some adjustments there. If I find out anything, I will let you know. Posted on PalmettoStateBaseball.com and also on my X handle of Palmetto Base. Also on Friday, Junior College Region 10 announced their all-region team. That is posted at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. That's pretty much what's been going on now. Let's get ready to sign off for now. Get ready to move on to Saturday. This is Rudy Jones with the Friday, May 1st recap and the Saturday, May 2nd schedule. Follow me at PalmettoStateBaseball.com or on X under the handle Palmetto Base. But for now, Jesus loves you. Good night.